Peace and love, children of the sun. Boy, these niggas be stealing my style, bruh. Straight up. You know, I did the FYBJ main challenge and I pulled out a construction vest. Now he just released a clip with Say Cheese rocking construction. Talking about he got a job through Tay Savage and he's back home. Yeah, right, nigga. Why would you go back and you just bought a house out there in Texas somewhere? Man, these little skits is getting out of control. Then I get on 5-5 Crab. What's his damn name? Slow boy? Crip Mac. Crip hopping, right? Which Milk TV used to go by Milk 7-4 for the Hoover 7-4s out there in Cali. He had been exposed. This nigga was a hood hopper. So I do a little skit talking about Crip Mac. And then Swamp TV, Swamp Stories, they just dropped the whole video. It did 80,000 in one day. 2 days later, 300,000. He done went in on Crip Mac, exposing that this dude that went through like 8 different sets. 3 of them he made up. He didn't even have no members out there in Chino. So it's deeper than what we even knew. We knew about him claiming the Hoovers. You know, we knew about him claiming the 60s. And then I seen where he was on Cam Capone, and he said he got DP'd 5 times just on the hood he's claiming now. 5-5 Crab. So it's like, I only got like maybe 600 views on these 2 videos, bro. Who the fuck is watching my page, bro? Come on, man. Get credit where credit is due. But yeah, we finna talk about this whole Tupac thing, man. Alright. Now, I always thought either Suge did it or the Crips did it. They say he died with $1.5 million, but they owed him $9 million. And I couldn't understand when Frank Alexander, the old security, dropped a documentary and he showed where they boxed Tupac in. And I couldn't understand that. Why would you tell them not to bring no guns? Why did he feel like Tupac was trying to get away from security the whole night? And then why did they get blocked in to where a car jumps in front of them and you already got homies behind you and you got Pac just blocked in where they could pull up, shoot him, and bust it right and get up out of there? It made no sense. But until I seen Suge's documentary that just came out 2 months ago, where Suge drove up to the scene where they got shot at and he threw up, that was real anxiety. So that right there cleared me of any thoughts of me feeling like Suge set that boy up. Then also, Frank said when they got back to the house, he was scared for his life because Suge was so mad after Pac got killed, right? And then it's just other little things that make me say, nah, man, because Suge went straight to jail for violating, for helping beat up Orlando. But Suge said in the documentary, if you catch one, you'll catch the same group of people responsible for Biggie was responsible for Pac. And the new TV show where they're trying to discover who killed Pac, they try to debunk the idea that it was a death row overthrow. But you can't debunk the idea because this guy, Reggie Wright Jr., his hands are involved in all of this, and he helped take over Death Row, the label. Suge's ex-wife took over the label, and he helped her run the label. And if you pay attention, Reggie hired the cops that worked as the security at Death Row. And they were all involved in the Rampart scandal, okay? These crooked cops were extorting and robbing drug dealers, okay? One of them went to jail for robbing a bank for $722,000, which was the amount that they owed for the hit on Biggie. It was supposed to be $1 million hit. They only paid $250,000 because Biggie got killed. They still owed $700-something thousand. What does he go do? He goes and robs a bank for that exact amount. Who are you going to pay? People say, oh, well, what about the $2 million that was offered for Pac, for Suge? What happens with that money? Well, Von Zip had $1 million check, and he never paid the Crips. He opened up a club called Zip Code. So the cops put a wire on Keithy D to go to New York to set him up. At the time, Von Zip was dying of cancer, and he knew something wasn't right. Why you showing up to New York out of nowhere, bro? And you hot as hell. So he didn't bite. He didn't bite the bait. So he sent Keithy D on his way. He didn't fuck with him. So Puffy's gonna get away with the shit regardless, like it always happens. He's gonna get away because you have no ties to him, to the hit, to the money. You just got Keithy D running his mouth. The same guy who wrote a book, who was selling propaganda from the Tupac murder, and the cops know about this. The same fool who they just found 40 caliber bullets in his crib. Now you'd be a goddamn fool if you still got bullets from 25 years ago. You're a fucking idiot. You thought that you signed a proffer deal, that's immunity. That wasn't immunity. You got caught with drugs. You went to running your fucking mouth to get out of the drug deal charge. And you snitched on Orlando, right? When we know Orlando wasn't even in the seat to where he could have shot at the car. It was DeAndre Smith, Big Dre. But Big Dre was still living at the time, so you just snitched on Orlando. Made him look like this big-ass killer, which he was a hitter. But he didn't do that shit. Because you just said his arm was in a sling from getting beat down and his shoulder was fucked up. So if my arm's in a sling, how I'm going to jump over there, say, move Dre, and shoot over Dre to shoot at Pac and them. Make it make sense if one of my arms is fucked up. And Suge said he seen a muscle-bound nigga. He seen who did it. And he said it wasn't Orlando. You got to go by what Suge is saying, man. That shit was Dre that did that shit. A muscle-bound nigga. He was the one in the seat, and Orlando's hands was messed up. And Suge also said the same people who did Pac is the same people who did Biggie. And there's a YouTube page that breaks all this stuff down, but one thing he did say, he said CPD met with the Crips and discussed the hit. So it would make sense because guess what? You had Frank Alexander and you had Michael Moore that was doing the security. Michael Moore heard on the walkie-talkie, yeah, we got him. We got him. When they shot Pac. So Reggie Wright's like, oh, everybody shared the same scanners and walkie-talkie. Even the gangbangers had it. Nah, bruh. Y'all was in on that Biggie shit. And y'all was in on... Because first of all, the Crips was there the night Biggie got killed. Keithy D said that they was real paranoid. And Puffy was like, watch out, the cops been on us, FBI been on us. And they went over there and was smoking weed and was there the whole night, right? Juelz, who was signed to death row, said that the Muslim man said, oh, someone just killed Biggie. Mind you, he was right there when it happened. Everybody thought it was the Muslim man, right? Some Fruits of Islam guy. They thought he did it. Nah. Mob James and other people said it was Poochie of Blood. So the cops aided and assisted in this dude Poochie doing it. The crooked cops. And then the cop Russell, who went to expose LAPD, he dies mysteriously when he goes into the office to pick up some items. He drinks his coffee, goes into cardiac arrest like they poisoned him. Make it make sense. They been had the murder weapon, and now on this new TV show, they show that there's a signed paper that says do not release the gun to Las Vegas PD. Why is that? Y'all have the murder weapon, y'all tested it, it came back positive results. Y'all wanted to send it to Las Vegas PD, a better system to test it. Why didn't y'all want it released? What are y'all covering up? For 2 weeks, it was drive-bys and shootings. 12 shootings, 6 people shot, whatever the case may be. Why y'all didn't want the truth to come out that the Crips, y'all wanted the war to stop and to make it look like it was a mystery? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. But y'all look up the Rampart scandal, man. Kevin Gaines, police officer, He dated Suge's wife. Another cop kills him. Now, Napoleon says that Kevin was a rat. They threatened to beat him up, and all of a sudden, a helicopter swarmed over them. And Kevin was like, oh, let's run and hide, playing along with it, acting like he didn't know that them cops was watching him. He was a rat, right? David Mack, he's the guy who robbed the bank and the one that brung the Muslim guy around. Rafael Perez, he's another one, right? Then you got Reggie Sr., he's the first person on the scene when Orlando gets killed. Make it make sense. You was trying to get some information out of him or make sure that he died so you could shut him up. And he was interviewed several times and never arrested. And then his homeboy who spoke up and said that he was still out on the scene after getting jumped in the bar having drinks. This is where the murder weapon shows up, at the homeboy's girlfriend's house. And the daddy finds the gun because the dog had it in its mouth. The dog running around the yard with the gun in its mouth. So Orlando dies, and mysteriously the gun shows up in Orlando's homeboy's girlfriend's backyard. Like it was planted, it was thrown in the yard. Make it make sense. People say beef always starts over a female. You have Sarah, a.k.a. Puffy's baby mama, on vacation in Hawaii, hugged up with Pac. And I don't know if she's the same one that they call Missy, but even Jewels said that this chick started messing with Suge Knight. So she done messed with Pac and Suge, right? Then you got Mary J. Blige, who was signed to Uptown and used to date Puffy. She was messing with Pac. Then you got Faith, who was married to Biggie. 6 people witnessed her hugged up and dressed up wearing a hoodie, jumping in the limo, going to mess with Pac, sneaking around, right? She can lie all she want. There's several different witnesses, at least 6. So you got Mary J. Blige, Faith, and Sarah, a.k.a. Missy, Puffy's baby mama. You know, Pac was the ladies' man, bro. He was a problem. You know what I'm saying? He was knocking them all down, bro. He had the sister from Fresh Prince, Karen Parson, Kadada Jones, Mary J., Faith, Left Eye, Madonna, Desiree Smith. Moni Love said they were just homies, but supposedly there was a threesome with Moni Love and Miss Info, I believe. You had Superhead. What is it? How do you say her name? Karen Stevens or whatever. Whitney Houston. Even Bobby Brown said that Whitney cheated with Pac. Adina Howard, who came out with a song T-shirt and her panties on. So this guy was just, man. Spice One, the rapper, said he never seen nobody with that much clout when it comes to women. You know what I'm saying? It gets deep, man. Everybody who wants to speak out against Puff, something happens. You know, look what happened to Mike Tyson. He just now bouncing back. Accused of rape and all that crazy stuff, right? From his wife, you know what I'm saying? Kim Porter mysteriously died. She supposed to be had a book she was writing. What happened to her laptop, right? Jamie Foxx come out talking about the zesty parties. Boom, he has a stroke. And other stuff going on. People want to say, oh, he took the shot, he took the shot. I don't know about that, bro. It may be deeper than that, right? Come on, man. It gets deep, man. But even a man named Kenneth B., who was the cellmate of the cop, Rafael Perez, he said that it was $1 million hit, man. You know, he said it was $1 million hit, man. And that's why David Mack went and robbed the bank, because he still owed $750,000. And it even gets deeper, man. Even with the whole thing with the Pac in New York and Quad Studio, right? Jimmy Henchman was a federal informant. Haitian Jack, federal informant. So people are trying to say that the FBI been trying to get Pac out the way, shoot him, rob him, lock him up for something that he didn't do, just to get him out the way, because they knew he was going to move to Atlanta and had the new Black Panther Party. And then now look what happens. You out in L.A., and it's LAPD crooked cops that's involved in the shooting. And if you took over the Death Row label, you do nothing but benefit from the East Coast, West Coast war. You know, Suge said that the white man who's over the Dre Beats and was over there over Interscope or Priority or whatever, he said that man said, boom, you hit the jackpot. Nothing's better than a dead artist. You're rich. Then he turns around and goes and does the deal with Puffy and them. When you had Death Row. Then you backstab Suge and you go do a deal with Puffy and them. So these people don't care nothing about you, man. They only care about money, man. So it's a lot that's going on. It's deeper than just rap, man. It's deeper than just hip hop, man. You know, it's deep, man, when you got crooked cops and they try to cover up what they did. You know, now it's all coming out 25 years later. Y'all been had the weapon that was used. So y'all just now finding out that there was a signed and sealed letter to not release so they could run more tests on the weapon. So if this fool, Keithy D, has bullets that match that 40 cal, he's over with. Because you don't have immunity. And what the cop explained, Greg explained that the proffer deal allows a person to give information on another person, but someone could turn around and snitch on you. So with Gunner trying to clear his name and blame the drugs and guns on Thugger, somebody could turn around and point the finger at him. Or if he was to do an interview, they could use it against him. So the proffer deal is mainly meant to harm the other person and get you out of trouble and slime you out of it. So he's talking about, oh, I ended my own, what did he say? He ended his own charges or his own conspiracy or his own indictment. No, you didn't. They used you to throw Thugger under the bus and say that YSL is a gang. And the whole time somebody could come in and tell on you. Your case is not ended, Gunner. And they could do you like they did my partner. He had beat 5 bodies under the state. They came back and gave him life under the federal conspiracy while he was locked up already. So it's never over, man. You know. But yeah, it gets deep, man. You know, even with the whole thing with Biggie saying, oh, Dog Pound came out here to shoot a video at this location. They're in Red Hook. You know, this is where they're at. We can't go to their West Coast and just shoot a video. Like, what was that about? Supposedly Pac was out of jail at that time and was talking crazy. But people think that, oh, they were just hating on the Dog Pound and them. But people are saying that Pac was out of jail when that happened. And, you know, yeah, you called Snoop to come back and meet you at the hotel and smoke with him and play a sample where you said you want to get loot like Snoop. But fuck all that. You used Snoop samples twice on your first album and Suge cleared it. Every time Puffy came in town, he riding around with Suge and Suge's cars. It was all kind of love, supposedly. And they want to say, oh, well, Suge's man got killed and Wolf and them did it. No. The nigga supposedly had nothing to do with Suge's man getting killed. Now, remember, they said that Puffy was like, he want this problem to go away in the party. And he said something about $2 million. Where did it go from $2 million to only $1 million given to Von Zip? And $1 million for Biggie. They got somebody running around YouTube talking about it was a $30,000 hit on Biggie and how Biggie was going to Rivera and he had a $60 million label deal and he was showing where, he was getting jerked on publishing and that's why he hid from Puffy that he was writing for Little Kim and Junior Mafia and all of that, and he was trying to get from under him. And originally, he was going to be with Thug Life, and that's why Pac was mad. You see, Pac made sure that he paid for everybody's tickets to come for Biggie's show. He paid to fly his own people out, and he was being a hype man for Biggie. And Biggie is saying Thug Life. Why? Because Biggie was going to be on Thug Life. And he was dissing Puff. He was getting jerked on his publishing. And originally he was on Uptown. See, the movie just shows him getting fired from Uptown, going back, tracking Biggie down, saying, yo, I got this new label, Bad Boy. They're not telling you that he was originally on Uptown, right? But why would he only put up a $30,000 hit? So it looks like $1 million went to Biggie and $1 million went to Pac. And somehow Reggie had something to do with both. We know that the Bloods took out Biggie, but they had to do with Pac also because they took over the label. And now you up here doing podcasts talking about bomb first because you feel like you're scot-free. You done got away because one cop went to jail, one cop got killed. You trying to discredit Frank Alexander and what he's saying about that night, how it was strange that a car boxed Pac in and how you told them not to carry their guns. Now, if you watch the new Suge documentary, Suge said this dude from Death Row had no business boxing me in. I don't know what he was thinking or why he did that, but that was a violation. So even Suge is saying that wasn't right, what that man did. So who told him to do it? Probably the same man who told them not to carry their guns. And should confirm that niggas jumped out the car and was shooting at Keithy and them. Now what the cops have revealed is that there was 2 Cadillacs. And one of them showed up at an auto body shop with bullet holes in it. So Suge didn't lie. Death Row was shooting at them boys. Keithy D says they went and hid and parked and was somewhere like, in a parking garage where they're across from a club and they could see all the traffic going by and how they put the gun on the tire under the car and came back later. So it just gets deep, man. I can tell you that Reggie Wright Jr., even when he talks, he's creepy. Something ain't right about this guy. Monetizing, doing these interviews and doing these little segments talking about it, and the whole time y'all done killed Biggie. Even Keithy D said if I go to jail for Pac, Reggie needs to go to jail for Biggie. And even Suge's name's been cleared because he was in jail. And they found the black Impala that his ex-wife had access to give it to the Bloods. They even found the 9mm bullets, special bullets, gecko bullets, at David Mack's estate, the cop who robbed the bank. So LAPD crooked cops is all over that shit, bro. And where it even gets more deep, the dude Kevin, who was a cop, but security for Death Row, ex-FBI, he says that the FBI was trailing them that day, and they have it on film, recording who killed Pac. So it's a lot that the government does not want to come out, man. From him getting shot in New York to him getting shot in Vegas, and feds being involved with Haitian Jack, and feds infiltrating Death Row with this Kevin guy being the security. Make it make sense, man. But I look at Suge totally different now. After I seen his documentary, America's Nightmare, or whatever it was called, Suge is actually innocent, man. I thought that he might have set up Pac, and it's sad, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad, man. But that Reggie Wright Jr., he ain't right, man. He is not right. You know, Haitian Jack did a documentary on Hip Hop Uncovered, and he said when he shot somebody in the late 2000s and was facing that time, but he ended up just getting deported. He said, yeah, I got people in high places. I knew I'd walk from that charge. People in high places. They say every charge he gets, it gets separated from the other co-defendants, and he gets let go. Just like with the so-called R word of this woman in New York when Pac was innocent. His co-defendant was Haitian Jack, and the case got separated. And what happened? Rivera gave that man a job, and they co-founded a label together. The same man that was extorting Bad Boy. Rivera gave him a job.
They arrested
Marshall's task force, the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, and the GBI all joined forces to track down Crenshaw, who had been wanted out of Cobb County for his alleged role in an aggravated assault against the woman. Court records in DeKalb County show that he's also facing 3 counts of violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Although the court documents don't state which gang he's affiliated with, multiple law enforcement sources tell Channel 2 that he's been involved with Young Slime Life, or YSL, which is now at the center of a sweeping RICO case in Fulton County.
Now, this Mondo guy from YSL saying that he's one of the co-founders of YSL. He went on No Jumper. He posted so many posts. You wasn't in the indictment. All you had to do is just shut up. He just kept running his mouth. Oh, I'm the big bad wolf. Now look, you're not even in that indictment, but you can get dragged into it. Because now you have a whole nother charge for Cobb County. Anybody that's here in Atlanta knows that's way nowhere near the east side. That's Marietta. Everybody knows you don't want problems in Clayco. You don't want problems in Marietta, and you don't want problems in Gwinnett. But you was clean. Now you done cause more problems on yourself, and they're bringing up YSL. Same situation with this Keithy D. He should have shut his mouth. That was been 25 years ago. Now you have Las Vegas police on your ass. Since LAPD did the proffer deal and let you run your mouth and try to set up Puffy's people in New York and whatever they had going on so you could get out of your drug deal charges, you wore a wire. So all that fake gangster shit that you kicking on these interviews, acting like you a super tough guy, all that's out the window, bruh. You wore a wire. And went to a whole nother state, crossed the United States to go get a dude. Come on, man. You put in extra work for the police. You're a whole goofy out here. But yeah, they raid your home in Vegas while you're not there. But now you got beef with the Vegas police. And of course, they're going to send that gun to match the ballistics. And they saying they found 40 caliber shells or whatever, because you, like most people involved in killings, they want to keep some kind of evidence as a award or a trophy. Even though you ain't the shooter, you just had to keep a trophy like a fool. So once they match that to the 40 caliber, it's over with. Now you got a Vegas charge. Keithy just don't know when to be quiet. He was talking shit about Bootsy, talking about Bootsy got them feds on him and he talked too much, and now look at you. You talked too much and got your ass in some shit. Then he was talking slick about Daz, talking about they wanted to beat Daz's ass and saying Daz ain't a real Crip and he's from Texas. Daz is not from some fucking Texas. They got family out there and family in Louisiana, but he's from Long Beach. The hell is you talking about? Then he tried to say that Harry-O ain't who Harry-O is, and saying that he was a drug kingpin and that his Colombian connects is where the money came from, not Harry-O. Then he also tried to say he had something to do with the whole thing with Dr. Dre getting released from Eazy-E. and that they never really applied pressure to Eazy-E like that, and that he had something to do with that too. I'm like, bro, you're trying to take credit for too much. Where's all these bricks you supposedly had? Because the motherfucking police said they ain't never heard of you doing shit gangster in the streets. You just might have been a drug dealer. So then he's like, yeah, gangsters move in silence. So yeah, that's good they never heard of me. But come on, bro. Come on, bro. If you was driving a car, you bragging about you passing a gun to the back. Why you didn't shoot? You right there closest to them. You gotta wait till it get to somebody in the back seat to pull up and let off so they can see you getting ready to let off? Come on, man. Like, it's just cringe watching this dude talk, man. Cause he's just like, he kind of remind you of TYMB Feifei. That's exactly who he looked like. He could be that man's daddy or his uncle. Just a little slimy nigga. That nigga just got arrested for another burglary, but got caught snitching on camera twice and still denying it. That's exactly what Keithy D is. A nigga that talks all this tough guy shit, talking about how he would have been a big dog in the jail and all of that shit. And the whole time, you wearing wires. Come on, man.